Hello Pisces, welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Pisces is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading. Try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger. And I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Pisces, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And Two of Swords to start us off. You're usually someone that's very, very decisive. I think first you like to have multiple options in life. You like to, you like to look at different sides of the problem. You think you have the perfect solution, the perfect path forward, and then I feel like you kind of poke holes in it. You're very inquisitive. You're very kind of analytical, but in kind of a intuitive way, kind of feeling out different options, So I think that there is something kind of in the cards for you right now, so to speak, on the table. And I think you're trying to find almost a validation or a confirmation about the path that you want to take. Because I see that there's one particular path in front of you, and you like that path. And I think that we're trying to kind of see it from different angles, trying to look from above, below, around it. We're trying to get different opinions. We're trying to research it. We're trying to find reasons why maybe that's not the right one. Are we being a little bit too led by our emotions? Or is this, I think you're really doing your due diligence on something in order to really solidify that choice. Yeah. And now I feel like, for some reason, you have a history of eye problems in your family or for yourself or something. There's something going on with your eyes currently, right? Or there's a family history there. Yeah. We need some more cards to see what this kind of circumspection is regarding, or what the path is that you wish to take forward, okay? So let's see what our next card is. 10 of Wands now. The 10 of Wands could be indicating that it's actually not the path that we're wanting to take. I think maybe you're thinking of stopping something. Or it could be, if this is the path that we're taking, we're wondering when the end is. We're wondering what the stopping point would be. So let's say it's a hypothetical path. Well, if I take this path that I really want to take, how is it going to end? What is the end result going to be? How will I know when it's the end of that path? How will I know when it's kind of, to put the finishing touches on it and kind of seal it up, wrap it up, mail it off, we're done. Yeah. But I kind of feel as if something is coming to a conclusion in your life. And that might be either the path that's ended and now we're kind of looking at this next path and this next phase of things, or we're on a current path and we're just wondering now, when's it going to stop? Should I stop it now? Is that the question that's on our mind right now? Okay. Because I feel like this is something that I feel like your body, I feel like your vital energy is kind of exhausted. And so it's almost as if we're asking, is it okay to stop now? Is it okay to, is this good enough that I can say, I'm done with this? And then we can kind of recycle the energy and we can do what we need to do and get started on this next path. Okay, well, let's keep going with another card. Let's see, this is now more fire energy. This is the Knight of Wands, and it's underneath the surface. So there is within you kind of an eagerness to start on something new. So I feel like this is probably a situation where I want to know if it's okay to get off this train and get on the next train. right? Or it's a triathlon. I want to know if I can get off the bicycle and get into the water and start swimming now. It's not that that you're running out of energy, but I think that when we can refresh something, when we can, we make that transition into the new path, the next phase, or the next, the next leg of the journey, there's a resurgence of this enthusiasm. This energy seems to be renewed. As tired and as exhausted as I could be doing one particular thing, if I were to just shift over to something else right in that moment, I would feel a renewal, a resurgence of this energy. Yeah. So it might be that we're just kind of feeling this, almost as if your creative will is exhausted in this particular path, and we're thinking, okay, is that enough? And can I switch to this other path? That maybe this is the path that you feel this Knight of Wands, this real enthusiasm for. And that Two of Swords is saying that we're kind of checking in, and we're looking to give ourselves permission to stop this thing and do this thing. And this thing really fires us up. Yeah. And you were a picky eater, right? When you were a kid. I don't know if you still are, but I feel like you were a picky eater when you were a kid. We have an ending here in the past position too with the Ten of Swords. And we have the Ten of Swords, Ten of Wands, right? It's kind of this ending of things. I think, since this is in the past position, I feel like there was a time in your life where you maybe were going through a similar kind of internal, conversation. I don't want to say dilemma, because it's not really a dilemma. We're just talking, right? But I feel like there was a time where you maybe quit something, thought you were finished with something, but it's almost like you left too early to something, yeah? Because I feel that this is something that that we wanted to do, that we thought we were building, but then we kind of walked away from it too soon, and it wasn't yet ready to stand on its own. Yeah? I don't know if it's a business, a creative project, or relationships or something like that. But this was the ending of something, but it never was able to really get off the ground. Okay? And now it just seems like it's kind of it's just kind of laying dormant in your past somewhere. So maybe this is something that you tried to put together and you never finished it. You walked away from it kind of before it was done, before it was ready, And I don't know exactly what this is, but I feel like this is now feeding into this Two of Swords, where it's just like, okay, I don't want to do that again. So now I really need to look at this from all angles and see, can I give myself permission, like I said, to go from this train to this train? Or is there still some sort of work that needs to be completed on this old thing, maybe this current thing, Let's do another card. What's up above everything? The Ace, a lot of fire. All fire in the vertical axis of the path of the dove. It's all fire, right? You work with food, or someone in your family works with food, right? Either some sort of food service, or you work on the line, or you work in a kitchen, or you're a chef, or you're a line cook, or you're a prep cook, or something like that, right? There's some sort of food thing, or you're a server of some kind. I feel some kind of food connection with you. The fact that we have the Ace of Wands up above everything, again, it's kind of like we're looking for this, we really want to start the new thing. And it feels like you're just kind of yearning for this new beginning, this fresh start, this renewal of your fire, your renewal of your creative energy. Yeah. And there is a connection with Aries here again for you, Pisces, always with the Aries connection. The Knight of Wands is one of the Aries power cards, okay? So I think it's very significant to you in this Aries connection. It's either Aries is a significant sign in your astrological chart, or you know somebody very closely who's an Aries, or this is about your evolution in the kind of cosmic cycle into that Aries energy, okay? This is the beginning of that kind of new path. This is what we really wish for. And we wish for it because we want to feel that surge of creative energy. I want to be fired up. I want to be enthusiastic. I want to be interested in something. I want to feel this zeal and this zest for life, you know. And I see that I can have that on this new path, this new train, you know. But I don't want to ruin what I've built over here. I don't want to mess this up. So I feel like you're kind of looking for that confirmation that it's okay. You know, giving yourself permission to end this and start this. And now our next card, more air. See, look at this. Do you see what's going on here? The vertical axis of the path of the dove is all fire, right? The horizontal axis of the path of the dove, all air. And this is rather uncanny. And I feel like this is meant for you. I feel like you're going to want to listen to this. Because this is, you know, we feel in that kind of spiritual way. On the vertical axis means what we aspire to. That we're kind of looking up at the sky, right? And thinking, yes, I want to start this new path. I want to be fired up. I feel like this is it. This is the one. It's kind of our spiritual, you know, connection. But then in the horizontal plane, looking forward logically on this terrestrial plane, in kind of in a practical sense, I'm just not sure. Right? And I know these cards are supposed to go this way, but I want you to be able to see the horizontal. Because we remember what happened back here, so now we need this decision. We're trying to look at all sides of things, all aspects of this. You're really trying to do this circumspection. Okay, real circumspection here. Now, somebody smoked in your house when you were a kid, right? Or they're still smoking now. I'm kind of feeling that, you know, that, I don't know, you can just tell when there's been smoke around, you know. I feel like somebody's still smoking. Anyway, that's why we got all the fire energy here. The horizontal here, I think we're trying to circumscribe this thing. We're trying to really walk all the way around it and just look at it and really give ourselves the permission. We're trying to kind of poke holes in it. It's almost as if there is that part of us, that vertical part, that really wants to do this, but then it's Seven of Swords. Our mind is trying to find reasons, trying to find a flaw in this plan, right? Because if we're going to do this, if we're going to shift over from that thing to this thing, whatever it is, could be work, could be family, friends, could be a romantic situation, I don't know. If we're going to switch from that thing to this thing, I want to make sure that this is an airtight plan. You know, airtight, no puns intended here. I want to make sure that there's that nothing's going to go wrong, that this is going to be as certain, as guaranteed as possible. But what the Seven of Swords tells us is that it is futile to try to get any kind of an airtight solution or plan, or there are no guarantees, right? And in this sense, this air energy is rather misleading for you. Because there will always be a factor, infinite and unknown, which reminds me, we got to do the mystery card. Bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Pamela Coleman Smith Tarot. It's going to go here. Jimbo, Lizard King, a.k.a. Mr. Lizard, right there on top. And we're not going to look at that card until the very end, but if you have a prediction for it, put it in the comments below. I strongly encourage that. I think it's good for us to exercise our intuition together. Yeah. The attempt to get that airtight plan, the attempt to get a conclusion, a result that is airtight, is just not humanly possible. Our intellect, our reason, our minds don't work that way. You know, we think of facts, we think of science, we think of things that are absolutely certain. There's no doubt about anything. I don't believe that kind of truth exists. And the Seven of Swords is telling us that. No matter what you believe, no matter what fact you come up with, no matter what the conclusion is, and no matter how certain you are of it, there's always an infinite amount of data, facts that we don't know. There's always something that the mind can find to explore, to analyze this. So the Seven of Swords warns us that we're getting very close to an Eight of Swords. And the Eight of Swords is when we're in such a mental loop, a mental tangle of thoughts that we're not making any progress. We're not actually doing anything. So if this Seven becomes an Eight of Swords, we're guaranteed to basically the whole thing breaks down. That we're not doing any fire energy. We're completely standing still if this Seven becomes an Eight. So I think this is here to remind us, not only is there a connection with the lunar energy for you, Pisces, saying to kind of feel our way through, use our intuition, but yes, we want to, of course, do the due diligence and make sure this seems like a very logical choice, but we have to get that final confirmation from spirit, from our psyche, from our souls, right? And not from our intellect alone, because the intellect alone will always find another angle to look at. There are not 360 degrees around a circle. There are infinite points around a circle. You will never stop circumscribing this thing, okay? And that's what the Seven of Swords is here to remind us. You had a misunderstanding recently with a relative, right? And maybe that's part of this. We're going to go to the path of the serpent now, and as we do this, I'd like to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed, please do. It's totally free, right? And it really does help out the channel, and I really do appreciate that. And right now, we need it more than ever because the algorithm is not being kind to Dove and Serpent Tarot, all right? But I'm not going anywhere, all right? I'm going to be here. First card, Path of the Serpent, your general energy. Eight of Cups. Well, at least we have some water energy in the mix now, right? And I feel like this is kind of, the longer we stay lingering in this circumspection, the more the water is draining from these cups. And I think this is, again, this is your general energy. This is where you are right now. And this is, we're starting to lose some of our gusto, right? We're losing some of our pleasure, our enjoyment, our water energy. And it's kind of like the more time goes on, the more hours we wait, the longer we wait, the more days that go by, the less hope we have, you know? And it's an 8. So it's a reminder of this 7 to an 8, that things, the longer we wait, the more we are analyzing this from all angles, it's kind of like the worse we're going to feel, right? And in a way, this is reminding us that the more we think about this and the more we analyze this, the less hope we feel, because it's kind of like we're not making any progress. And so the more we analyze, it's almost the more answers we find, the more questions we have. And that's just kind of every time something new comes up in our minds that says, well, I didn't think about this aspect, then it's just kind of the heart sinks a little bit more. Like, oh, one more thing that I have to try to figure out and try to resolve mentally before I can move forward here. So introspection is not bad. Circumspection is not bad. We need to do that. But we need to realize when it becomes too much, when we need to move forward. There will always be hidden things. Always, right? So we got to get out of this eight of Cups, because it is, we feel that now. And imagine if we get the Eight of Swords too, then we're locked into this. And it's going to be very difficult to get that taken care of now. You've had a lot of magical, mystical experiences in your life, especially when you were a kid. Your childhood, I think, was very different than most kids. Yeah, a lot of spiritual things going on. You really have this connection with the unseen world, and I think we need to tap into that connection now. Let's see what the card of the environment is. Well, there's that Aries energy again. Both Aries power. If this was an Aries reading, I'd be ringing that bell like crazy today. But this is your environment. This is what it's time for you to do. Take all the available data, make a decision, make a declaration, issue a decree in your life to yourself. I don't know who this involves. I don't feel that it involves a lot of other people. Maybe an Aries person. But this is you having to make a decision. And every time we make a decision as human beings, we're doing so on limited data. Always. Don't care who you are, don't care what you tell me. It's the only time I'll speak in absolutes. We never go into anything. We never make a decision with all available data. Every time we decide anything, we're doing it on faith almost, right? Because there's no way that we can have all the answers. And if I have all the answers right now, then right now I don't. Okay, because everything is always in flux. So this is a snapshot of your life right now in the tarot reading, but it's different than it was when I started this 21 minutes ago. God, it's been 21 minutes already. I better hurry. It's time for action. It's time to make that decision, issue that decree in your life, and either decide to stay where you are and continue working on this current thing, or follow your kind of fiery will here and move on to the next thing. But it seems to me like what you really want to do is move into this new, get on the new train, whatever it is, right? The obstacle, another major arcana card. The obstacle is the Lover's card. Says a couple of things. First of all, that this might involve a relationship with another person. Doesn't have to be romantic. It could be. It could be platonic, could be professional, could be personal. It might involve your decision about a relationship that you are in. Okay. There's some digestive thing going on with you too, right? I wonder if you're going through some health stuff right now. I feel there's something in the digestive system that's been bothering you. It might be related to the stress of this. We kind of see that we got some heavy air cards here. But I feel like this is really the difficulty here with the Lover's card. This card is about commitment. Okay? And it's kind of this idea of, are you committed to this current thing, previous/current thing, to the point where you can exclude the other things that you want, right? Is this the train where you're going to stay? Are you committed to this? Or is this other train, is that what really is inspiring you right now? Okay? And it could be that, yes, you are committed to this current train. But then you feel this fiery draw, you feel it in your soul, really. Because that Ace of Wands, that is your will. Right? That is your fundamental kind of conscious driving, animating energy. And so I think the issue here is making a choice, one thing over the other, one thing to the exclusion of the other. If you get on this train, you can't be on that train. You can't be in two places at once. So this card is about a marriage in a way. It's that choice to commit to something. But this card is not just the simple choice, that we see with the Two of Swords or something, or a Two of Pentacles or whatever. This is choosing that thing that hits us in the heart. We're being hit with Cupid's arrow. We are inspired. Now, again, it doesn't have to be romantic, but this is that inspiration that we feel. What is the thing for you that you feel has gripped you? Right? What do you feel this inspiration toward? Is it staying on the current path, or is it this new thing? And it could be really that what we're trying to do is give ourselves reasons why it's okay to end this and go to this one. And of course, the Lover's card adds some other implications into that. Okay, might be revealing sort of what's going on here, but again, it doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. Okay, but it could. For some of you, probably is. But we have to follow that path with heart. We have to follow that path that really grips us and pulls us and draws us in that spiritual way. Not being led by the mind, not being led by the kind of basic desires, but being led by your will, by what is kind of what is gripping your entire being, right? What has truly inspired your soul. And I think that this card's in the difficult position because perhaps you do feel this inspiration, but it's requiring an ending of this current situation. And so there's a difficulty in your mind. I think, like I said, kind of giving yourself permission to follow your bliss, follow your heart, follow follow the path with heart that you are inspired with. Final card here. Following your heart. Giving your heart, right? The Knight of Cups. This is the giving and receiving of love and affection. This is what you are giving yourself to. Okay, so I feel that whatever path you take is going to be the one where you feel is going to be the most fulfilling to you spiritually, but also the one where you are freely giving of yourself. Right? And again, if we feel this kind of exhaustion, we feel that it's kind of we're at the end of something, and we're looking for maybe permission, or we're trying to find reasons why it's okay for us to be done with this and to move into this. The longer we stay in this, we're feeling this kind of drain, spiritually, emotionally. The water is kind of the waters are draining out of these cups, but here we see a flow of that water. And I think that this is when you make this choice, which again, whichever choice really has inspired you, has gripped you. This is that free-flowing water energy. This is you now completely open and devoting yourself to this thing. Either that thing or this thing, whichever one, right? And I know that some people are going to say, well, why do I have to choose? I don't know. Perhaps it's because you cannot split your will here into two, right? That this is something that is going to require all of your attention and devotion. It's more than it being a person, right? Or maybe a job, this one or that one, a person, this one or that one. Doesn't matter. Both, right? Go ahead, work two jobs, right? Be in two relationships. It doesn't matter. This is a life path. This is something that you are, every realm of your life is being affected by this. Our will has to be one, not two. And so that's what we're looking for, is this unified, where our heart and our mind and our body and our soul, our spirit is saying, this is the path for me. So this is a life-changing thing. This is not just, what do I have for dinner? This cuisine or that cuisine. Well, maybe we do a little fusion cooking tonight, It's bigger than that, right? Let's look at the mystery card. I want to see either your power card, the moon card, or it's going to be some water energy like a 9 or a 10 of cups. Yeah. But I kind of feel like we're going to get some smaller pip cards because we don't have a lot of those. We have a 2, we have an ace and a 2, yeah, but we've got a 10, a 7, an 8. So maybe it's like a 3 of cups would be nice, or an ace of cups. Or an ace of pentacles, maybe. I don't know. A few options here. Let's see what we have. The Hermit. Well, I wasn't expecting that. The Hermit is, in some ways, I think that this is what you wish you could do. I think is hide away, not have to choose, not have to make a choice, right? This is a lot of that introspection that you've been doing. I think maybe that you've taken some time away, you've stepped back from this whole thing, and you're really trying to figure it out. But the Hermit reminds us that it's not an intellectual process. It is about finding that inner light, finding that star within you that will point the way. It has to be more intuitive. It's not an intellectual process. And the Hermit, I think, a lot of the time, when we go in Hermit mode, we spend a lot of time thinking about things, planning things, writing things down, making mind maps, pros and cons lists. We're doing the calculations, which is fine, which is good. We need that. But then eventually we have to kind of put the pencil down, close our eyes, and just be open, empty our mind, and receive the light. And you'll know, you'll get that feeling, you'll get that lover's feeling of which option, which path here has gripped your soul, right? And you can feel spirit kind of dragging you by the collar, you know. So I think this is a confirmation. This is a validation. This isn't telling you which option to choose, but perhaps how to arrive at the answer yourself. Okay. We're going to do an extended reading. If you want to stick around, there's a link up top. There's one down below. New readings for Pisces, Thursdays and Sundays, 6 a.m. Chicago time. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free, does not cost anything. Leave a comment, let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you, and we're all in this together.